don't think we've ever been anywhere like this that has white sand beaches, but also mountains with snow on them. It's like we could be in the Caribbean on a day like today.
Where are your crampons in your ice pick now?
I wish I had some.
We are Amy and Matt. This year we are sailing our 40-year-old 37-foot sailboat from the south coast of the UK all the way north to the Arctic. This will be like nothing we have ever experienced before.
We're hoping to see polar bears and walrus and sail in the icy waters of Svalbard. We'll sail past the northernmost town in the world as we venture into the high Arctic. It's unlikely to be easy, but it's certainly going to be an adventure.
What a stunning morning to be out in the islands. I can't believe how incredible all the reflections are this morning. It's been an early start again to catch the tide because this narrow fjord is one of the places where you do have to watch the tide, and the narrows we're coming up to up here, it can run up to 7 knots. But this morning we didn't want to get out of bed, so we're catching the last little ebb of the tide, so we should almost be slack as we go through the last of the narrows going up here. And we still had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's always 5 o'clock in the morning you have to get up with the tide. But oh, is it worth it? It's amazing. And normally I hate motoring, but when it's a flat calm like this and you have views like this, even having to get up that early in the morning, it's just so energizing being out here. The air's really fresh because it's about 8 degrees at the moment, so I've got a few jackets on, but it is absolutely beautiful. So worth getting up early for, and even worth motoring for.
When passing through this area, it's best to make use of the tides, effectively hopping on a treadmill when it's going your way, and then hopping off again when it changes direction. Thankfully, there are plenty of scenic anchorages along the way, so it's easy to hop off and pause when you want to.
had an amazing time exploring the Lofoten Islands, and we could spend the entire summer in this area. There are so many beautiful anchorages to explore, but if we want to get up to Svalbard and have a chance of seeing some polar bears, then we need to start making moves up through this fjord system and up towards Tromso, which is going to be our stepping off point for sailing up to Svalbard. So today is the best day for wind. There's still not much wind in here, in amongst the islands. It's a little bit unpredictable. Hopefully there will be a bit more later during the day, because we're hoping to do 80 miles up to an anchorage on the outer side of the islands, on the outer edge of the islands, on the Atlantic side, because the seas are calm and there should be some amazing places to visit on the way out there. But at the moment, there's just not enough wind to sail, so we're motoring. And we're going to wend our way up through the islands, up through a really narrow channel before we get out to the open ocean again on the other side. Well, thankfully, shortly after departing, we got a bit of breeze, but it's come with the rain as well, so we got the tent on to protect us. But hopefully, it's kind of as the wind was forecast to be, and it should blow us up this narrow gap. So we just got the genoa out because we're going to be going dead downwind, and the mainsail would either shade the genoa or we'd have to pole out either side. And with the wind being so fickle in between the islands, it's just not really worth doing. You have to spend a lot of time fapping with the mainsail. So even though it's a tiny bit slower, we'll sail with just the genoa up through here.
As the wind shifted to come from directly behind us, we set the staysail as well, wing on wing to give us a bit of extra speed. Usually we'd need to put the pole out to hold the genoa in place as we roll around, but because the sea is so calm in between the islands, we can get away with doing it without the hassle of the pole.
Although we are inside the Arctic Circle, this is not a remote area. Nestled in the sheltered channels, there are towns and major infrastructure with a road network to link them. The bridges are mostly high enough to allow ships to pass under them, meaning no problem for Florence.
Because these channels are also used by commercial shipping, they're very well marked and plenty deep enough for Florence. But we have to keep our concentration, as they're definitely not straight.
Reaching the open sea once more, we hoisted the mainsail and set the pole to head for Senja Island, which has very positive reviews in the pilot guide that we have for this part of the coast.
Not all the docks here in Norway are in very good condition. This one you have to be careful where you step, because some of these planks just bend down, kind of all rickety everywhere. As you walk over, half these bolts just come out as you're walking past, and the thing's held together with ratchet straps. But it's light wind, so I think Florence will be okay here whilst we go for a walk. You may notice today that we're not wearing many layers of thermals and woolly hats, and that's because it's actually about 14 degrees on the boat, and I think it's warmer here in the hills as long as you're not on the peaks in the breeze. As soon as you're in the breeze, oh, it's cold. But actually it's a very pleasant temperature right now. Now just up here we should get a view of this waterfall.
Well, that's an alright view, isn't it? So gorgeous. Looks like we could be in the Caribbean on a day like today. Oh, it's stunning. What an incredible place this is. You can see Florence on the dock down in the small harbour, and then behind that is a absolutely gorgeous looking archipelago. And one of the main reasons that we wanted to come here is because today the forecast was for very little wind. So we're hoping that we can head out into that set of islands and find somewhere suitable to anchor. I don't think we've ever been anywhere like this that has white sand beaches and small islands, but also mountains with snow on them in the distance. So yeah, what amazing variety that hopefully today we'll be able to hike up a peak, and then later in the afternoon maybe go for a kayak or a swim from one of the islands. I think that's a bit shallow. So incredibly peaceful out here. I can't believe that we've again got this place to ourselves. It's one of the things that I found really surprising about Norway. I know that we're a very long way north now, and people said that you get less and less boats the further that you go north, but I think I could count on one hand the number of boats that we've seen, both in anchorages or against a dock, or even out sailing since we left Ålesund. It's probably been, maybe 5 or 6. And what an incredible place to sail. It's also a lot easier than I expected. There's a lot more docks and anchorages available, and I know most of the time we've been incredibly lucky with the weather, but we've also been able to kind of hide out and wait out any bad weather that has come as well. So yeah, really, really glad that we came here. It's just an incredible place. I feel very privileged to be here.
I honestly wasn't expecting to find so many places that have got white sand beaches and turquoise waters combined with the white snow-capped mountains behind them. And when looking at the chart, it looked fairly daunting to come up through all the narrow channels between the islands. And even here, if you zoom in on the chart, there are just rocks everywhere. But in actual fact, it's been relatively simple and relatively easy to navigate between them. The charts seem to be good. There's lots of navigational marks to help you around the rocks, and the bridges are high enough mostly to get Florence underneath. So yeah, it's been actually a lot easier than I thought it would be to get to this point. I know we've got a lot more difficulty getting up to Svalbard from here, but actually the Norwegian coast up as far as here, it's been an absolute joy, and it hasn't been stressful navigation at all. I could very easily spend the entire summer just cruising around the islands and the narrow channels and exploring up fjords on this part of the coast of Norway, if it wasn't for the fact that we set ourselves the challenge of getting up to Svalbard. In fact, we're starting to wonder why we're doing that, because it is just such beautiful, comfortable, enjoyable cruising in this area. And it is, as Amy said, astonishing that there aren't more sailing boats here.
Wow, check out this incredible whale skull that's washed up on the beach. The lady in the hotel told us about it, because they get a lot of whales up and down this coast. They follow the migration of the herring, which is actually unfortunately not at this time of year. It's normally around November. But about 3 years ago, apparently they had all of the herring coming into the bay, which brought all of the whales into the bay, and they had orca even inside the tiny harbour where we were docked last night. Must have been incredible to see. I'm not entirely sure if this is a sperm whale or a humpback. I know they get sperm whales, humpbacks and orca up this coast. We unfortunately haven't seen many whales ourselves, mostly because we've, as Matt was saying, been sailing in between all the islands and rocks, and they obviously like to be a little bit further out to sea. But yeah, what an incredible sight. Check out the size of this blowhole. And then if you come round this side, it's like a bench seat with the best view ever. Look at this. It's like an armchair. It's actually really comfy.
Don't think just because we show lots of sunny days that it's always sunny in the Arctic. It was beautiful yesterday for exploring here, but today it's just been drizzly grey rain all day. In fact, no wind until now, but now the wind has just filled in a little bit, so we're motoring out. Hopefully we'll be able to set the sails soon and sail about 15 miles further along the coast where there's a little harbour, and then tomorrow, according to the forecaster, it's going to be sun again, so we can get out and explore and show you some pictures of some fine views. But today, yeah, it's a bit grizzly and wet. Thankfully it's not too cold. It's about 12 degrees at the moment, so it's not too bad. But yeah, it doesn't always shine with sun in the Arctic, despite what you might see on some of these videos. So this wasn't the hike that we planned today. We planned to be at Anchorage a couple of miles further up the fjord, but we came in there last night and it just really wasn't suitable. It was a dock, it wasn't suitable to tie Florence up to. I think they were doing some renovation work on it and they'd removed all the bollards to tie the boat to. So we came on a bit further down to this one, which meant we're out of the range of the nice, easy, lower level hikes that are up there. There is a hike from here, which we knew about, and it's designated hard, and it goes up nearly 1 kilometre to an amazing viewpoint. Then when we got here, we looked up and it's covered in snow. So we're going to give it a go and see how far we get. But yeah, it is covered in snow up there. Looks amazing, but we don't really want to fall in a crevasse and injure ourselves and then not get up to Svalbard. So we're going to be fairly sensible, hopefully. Famous last words.
Just come across this rockfall from what looks like a big landslide. I don't know how recent it is, but it's definitely taken out a load of the trees that would have been here, and it's cut straight across the path. Yeah, incredible power of nature.
Okay, up until now we were able to avoid going over the snow, but now it looks like we have to go over the snow. Not sure how far for. I think the path just goes straight up there, but I imagine the markers are under the snow somewhere. Can't see anything.
Can't see a thing.
Pathfinder Amy, I'll catch you when you come sliding back down.
It's alright actually. I've got a long way to go. Pack some waterproof gloves.
Cold hands. Where are your crampons in your ice pick now?
I wish I had some, to be honest. I didn't think we'd want them. It's June. But yeah, I think they would have been a really good thing to carry.
Back on the trail, another blue marker. Up we go.
This is such an amazing hike because the ridge that the path takes us up, there are patches of snow on it which are a little bit sketchy, but it's mostly clear of snow. And then either side of us are just giant snowfields. Yeah, look, check out these meltwater patches down here. Absolutely stunning.
Cake and coffee, not bad with a view. Unfortunately it's directly into the sun, but from here we can see that there's a real big overhang of snow on the ridge up here, and I think the hike takes us round and along that ridge. So there's no way we're going up on that. That looks proper sketch. All down that side of the valley is breaking up, and we can hear cracking sounds and little bits of snow and boulders of snow coming down occasionally. So I think we'll get up to the peak of the ridge here and we should get an amazing view, but we are not going to go across that snowfield because we can see from here that is mega sketchy. Well, I think this will do us. There's footprints going on from here, but they go right across the snowfield, and we don't have any experience of hiking in snow and what you're supposed to do and what you're supposed to have with you. So I think this is as far as we're going to go, but it's such an amazing view from up here. Yeah. Norway is absolutely breathtakingly stunning, and I mean, we're not used to these snowy mountainscapes, so it's very new for us. It's absolutely gorgeous.
This is definitely the most snow that we've seen of any of the hikes that we've done so far on this trip. It's just incredible, the view. I had seen a few pictures of people that have been up here, but they've been up here in July, and the difference is amazing. So it's currently early June, and in July, in their pictures, there was barely any snow. And it's actually a lake down in the bottom there. Yeah, you can't even see any of it. You can really see why this island is so popular and famous for hiking. The views are just incredible. And this isn't even, I don't think, one of the top 3 hikes on this island. It was just one of the ones that was easiest to access from the boat. But this is amazing. Just the snow in one direction and then the fjord in the other. Yeah, let me just pull her in a bit. These hills definitely make the wind gust quite violently. Finally got wind to sail on, but of course we've got the rain with it.
Ready for attack?
Yeah.
Ready for attack? It just seems to be whenever there's wind, it's when it's raining. So we seem to be sailing in the rain, but then enjoying the calms in the sun, which is all right. Very glad we got this tent on though, otherwise it'd be quite miserable out here. Just makes things a lot more bearable. Dodging through a few rocks at the moment, so got to pay a lot more attention than when crossing the oceans. There's a lot more course changes to dodge through the narrow channels and up the fjords.
Today we're sailing 45 miles around the outside of Senja Island and up the narrow channel to Tromso, which will be our kicking off point to sail for Svalbard.
After spending so long seemingly to be the only boat around as we were making our way up through the loads of different anchorages on the way up the coast of Norway, we found all the other yachts. Everybody who is going up to Svalbard seems to have converged on Tromso as the ideal place to check out, stock the boat and get ready to go. And so there are lots of other boats here, and we've already spoken to 6 of them who are also going to Svalbard. And it's like being back in the cruising community, like when we were sailing around the world, where everybody groups up at the start of an ocean crossing, waiting for the same weather window to go, and we're all talking about the same things. We're all talking about weather, we're all talking about ice reports, we're all talking about polar bear protection, how to check out of Tromso, because that's not completely straightforward. But it's really nice to be back within that community again, and it's been a very social time here on the dock in Tromso.
Next time, we'll set sail for the icy world of Svalbard.
It's exciting to get going. I guess it's the big passage of this season of sailing, and it's going to be a challenge to deal with the changing weather as we get up there.
For extra updates in between these bi-weekly videos, and to find out what we're up to in real time, head over to Patreon and join the crew.
Continuing our voyage on Florence would not be possible without the support of our patrons. Thank you to all of you, and especially to our star patrons.